Hi there. So, a couple months ago I did an unarchived karaoke stream, and at the end of that stream I revealed that I had picked all of the songs for the stream to fit a particular theme that told a story. While that stream is no longer on YouTube, I wanted to put that story, quote unquote story, that the very loose story and theme that that the set list built, I wanted to put my explanation for that as its own video. Just why not? Because I liked the explanation stuff, and I thought it was kind of fun. And I think if I ever do karaoke stuff again, that's the sort of thing I'm leaning towards. Is I want to have karaoke's that tell a story. But so for now, I will see you later. Enjoy the story. I want to quickly go over some of the songs I chose and why I chose them and stuff. So the first was String Theocracy, mostly just because I feel like it's both a good warm-up song and it's very fitting for the start of a karaoke, because it literally starts with "Open the curtains, the lights on." So yeah, the motions. So the kind of theme for this, for the organization of the song anyway, is basically the trying to change yourself and falling in love with something or getting obsessed with something or someone, falling out of it for whatever reason, either if for some reason you break up with whatever they or it is, and then for example, the motions is all about wanting to make a change because you don't want to keep going through the motions you go through every single day. Meatball Submarine, as the most common interpretation I've seen from it, is the idea of changing parts about yourself and making yourself different to appeal to someone. It let me get to it in my thing. So I leap and swim against an Atlantic stream to show you what I've achieved. It's basically, and the final thing of the final chorus, so I leap and race against those submarines to show you what I've achieved. Increased speed. Tonight we'll make dinner a feast, so cheer for me, please. Just cheer for me, please. Instead of looking at me, you've decided on the roast beef submarine. Tomorrow I'll come back again, so wait for me, please. Just wait for me, please. So the idea is that the singer is the meatball submarine, so to speak, and the bit of at the beginning of let me get to it. Basically the beginning bit of supposedly making the submarine is kind of getting yourself ready to meet someone or to try to catch someone's eye, and so that's kind of that song, why that's there. And yeah, I have if I were to ever do a full on cover of it with a really nice music video or something, I have a lot of ideas for what I would do with that. So yeah, and then Hey Soul Sister is Hey Soul Sister and Do You kind of serve the same purpose pretty much in this, where they are basically songs about saying you like someone and trying to convince them, or seeing that if they like you back, kind of. Soul Sister, like, that is kind of the aesthetic with having Hey Soul Sister and Do You in there. And then Can't Help Falling in Love and Fall For You are both songs about, like, not being able to help falling for someone. Like, it's kind of implied at this point that, like, this is the part where it's not reciprocated whatever this thing is. Like, you can't get this other person, other thing to have the effect. You don't have the effect on it that it has on you, pretty much. So, like, Can't Help Falling in Love is basically like we're in love, I am in love with you, and I can't help it. And then Fall For You is you know I'm in love with you, but I don't want you to do anything about it at this point. I just want to still sit and be in love with you. Temporary Love, it is Temporary Love and Thanks for the Memories are both songs about, pretty much about breakup, of like being together one last time before you call things off, and you disband a relationship, kind of. And so, like, the idea is that after Fall For You, but the point of view of, like, whoever this conceptual person is, realizes that they need to move on, that whatever this relationship isn't healthy, whatever, and move on. And yeah, theoretically, I think Temporary Love probably should have been after Thanks for the Memories, because Temporary Love is very much the leave and never say goodbye song. Don't Blame Me could have probably gone first, actually, because Don't Blame Me is a song all about, like, yeah, that probably should have been after Fall For You, honestly, because Don't Blame Me is kind of a song about realizing that, or at least in this context anyway, it's like realizing that whatever spark was there in the relationship just isn't there anymore. Like, it literally starts with, you touch me too softly, and I know what that means, that you don't really love me, as morose as it seems. Like, basically there is, like, I can tell, you could tell, like, the point of view person can tell that who or whatever isn't into them anymore. And then, and the end of that song is, like, literally, no, this path never stops, I'm already sick of the next like, which I'm going, like, that's very indicative of the person who wrote it, but the main thing is, we were never in love, so when we were fucking, who were you thinking of? Which is basically which, yeah, I feel like this definitely should have been after Fall For You, would have made more sense, because the kind of, like, the feelings were never reciprocated, and this is really bad, and when we were together, you clearly would have been thinking of somebody else, kind of thing. And then the last goodbye is saying goodbye fully. Like, even if the song is very goofy, it's the last goodbye. It is fully breaking off that relationship. And yeah. feeling in denial until you can admit that it... Yeah, exactly. And then Boulevard of Broken Dreams is the depression arc, pretty much. Is Boulevard of Broken Dreams is the starting to realize that, like, you're alone again. Like, you're fully alone now. You don't have whatever you were clinging on to, and it's breaking you, is basically. And then Hit the Snooze is more of that, pretty much. It's being home alone, stuck, unable to get out of the rut you're currently in, which is the same with Drown. Drown is a very melancholy song that kind of, as I said earlier, the point of Drown is the song is meant to sound unsatisfying. It's like a rippling wave that never fully climaxes or hits the bottom. It just stays in the same levels mostly the whole song and then cuts off. Like, in the song, like, there's other ways you can read into Drown that I'm not gonna cover, but yeah, like, especially at this part in this set list. Gravity is a song basically about feeling alone and feeling like no one, like, not having energy, feeling like no one understands what you're going through and whatnot. And it ends optimistically of the just like yeah, maybe I'm not alone, because there must be I can see that there are people going through the same things I am, sort of thing. And then Someone to Talk To is a song in actuality, Someone to Talk To is a song about basically a problem that can sometimes happen with religious communities and stuff, where all you want is someone to tell about what's going wrong, what you've done and stuff, but instead, to quote the song, but when I tell them where I'm at, they tell me where I ain't, when all I needed was someone to hear about my shame. Basically, instead of listening to, it's basically a song about how some people will, instead of listening to you about where you're currently at, they will just tell you about where you aren't and who you aren't, and that you need to be better, not addressing the current issue. It's like saying, oh, things will get better, when all someone wants is someone to acknowledge that, yes, what is going on, is to acknowledge what their pain and not dismiss it that, oh, things will get better. Oh, you need to work on this. You need to do this. And so Someone to Talk To in this context is a song about basically not being able to find other people to talk to, and how sometimes they can't find someone to talk to about what they've gone through. And then 818 is a harder one to put, but it's kind of leads, to put it honestly, I put 818 in here because I really wanted to sing it. It doesn't fit as well with the whole overall theme, but if I were to properly assign it to the theme, it's that 818 is basically in this context, it's at every start there's an end. That's where the heart often bends. and after love and hate, love and hate, love and hate, 818, 818, like, it's, you're approaching the end of whatever this is, but that end is where you're wavering the most. Like, you just can't get past everything. And then, End of a Life, which is a song all about not being satisfied with, like, trying to be satisfied about where you've ended up, despite the fact that you regret leaving where you were, but that where you are now is what you want, where you want it to be. Like, to read into it a little bit from how my interpretation of the writers, like the songwriters thing, it feel like my interpretation of it's always been that it's her way of saying that, like, basically I like where I am at with music. I just regret a lot of what I did in the past, and that I can't do as much as I used to because of other stuff. And the song is very much kind of around that theme of not quite satisfied or trying not to regret, and like pretty much just criticizing yourself for being stuck, for regretting things. But ultimately, as it says, I'll never find another chance to say, hey, thanks for saving my life. Like, basically, there's something that has taken the perspective, character, or whatever, out of the rut they were in, but they still are regretting the past. And then the song ends with basically a waking up and it's all over. Like, waking up and kind of realizing that all the craziness is over and it's done. And then I guess encore-wise, string theocracy being there fits because it's starting again. Like, open the curtains, lights on, we're doing this, we're going all over again. So yeah, that was my rough breakdown of this thing.